Today we're going to formalize what we did yesterday. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about a unit circle. And that is a circle with radius 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at, so if here was our circle, if the radius is 1, we have 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 0, 0, negative 1. And we're going to look at 30, 60, 90 triangles on this and 45, 45, 90s, similar to what we did yesterday. So if we have a, let's say, 30, 60, 90 triangle on there, so if we were to draw a 60-degree reference angle, our radius is 1, so this would be 1/2 and root 3 over 2. And if we were to draw a 45-degree triangle on there, again our radius is 1, we have root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2. So what we're going to do here is take a look at finding some trig values. So this first one, find the 6 trig values for 135. So 135 would be in this quadrant, because here's our 135. So if we make this into a triangle straight down to the x-axis, 90, we're going to say our radius is 1. Well, what's our reference angle? Well, 135 to 180 is 45. So we know this is root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. But to get to this quadrant right here, we go backwards and up, so this is negative. So our 6 trig values, the sine of 135, cosine of 135, tangent of 135, and then we have the cosecant of 135, the secant of 135, and the cotangent of 135. So sine, opposite over hypotenuse, square root of 2 over 2 over 1. So we'd have root 2 over 2. So this is 2 over root 2. Cosine, a over h. So negative root 2 over 2 over 1. So we got negative root 2 over 2. So this is negative 2 over root 2. And tangent, o over a, root 2 over 2 over negative root 2 over 2. So we have negative 1, and the reciprocal would still be negative 1. So this next one, it says 210. So 210 would be in this quadrant, so all the way over to here. But if we make a right triangle, again 180 down here was 210, our reference angle is 30, hypotenuse is 1. Well, we know opposite 30 is half, 60, so this has to be root 3 over 2. But let's think about the positive and negatives, backwards and down in this third quadrant, so negative and negative. So once again, we have the sine of 210, cosine of 210, tangent of 210, cosecant of 210, secant of 210, and the cotangent of 210. So sine, opposite over hypotenuse, negative 1/2 over 1, so negative 1/2. Cosine, negative root 3 over 2 over 1. And tangent, negative 1/2, negative root 3 over 2. Well, our denominators are the same, so we have 1 over root 3. And then we just flip it, so negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. Negative 2 over root 3, and root 3 over 1, which is just root 3. So if we take a look at this next place, some angle measurements don't form a triangle. For example, 90 degrees, 180, 270, and you could even say like 360 or 0. So when we take a look at this, and any triangle here, this is 1, this is some x value and y value. And we could do this, we could write this down in any quadrants. This would be negative x, y, negative y, 1, 1. x negative y. And we're always talking about this reference angle. So if we were to say the sine of theta, y over 1, sine of theta is just y, or it could be negative y, depending upon the quadrant. Cosine of theta, adjacent over hypotenuse, is just x, and our tangent of theta, opposite over adjacent. So it's the y value over the x. So if we were to ask something, the cosine of 90, 90 is right here, 0, 1. Well, we know cosine is just the x, so we'd have a 0 right there. If we said the sine of 90 is really just our y value, so it's 1. So we're going to take a look at a couple of these here. So the sine of negative 90, so negative 90, 0, negative 1. And we know sine, opposite over hypotenuse, so sine is our y value, so it would equal negative 1. Cotangent of 270, well that's right here still, and so the tangent is y over x, so our cotangent has to be x over y, so 0 over 1, which is 0. Now, it says name the angle for 3 trig functions where it's undefined. So it's undefined when we think about a fraction. When we have a fraction, we can't have a 0 on the bottom. So let's see. This would be, so let's see. We know our tangent equals opposite over adjacent. Our cotangent is x over y. So when is x 0? Well, here and here. So we could say the tangent of 90 or the tangent of 270, because this is 0, 1, 0, negative 1. And so this would be 1 over 0. So this is undefined. Tangent of 270, negative 1 over 0, so that's also undefined. Or when is the cotangent when y is 0? So that would be here or here, because negative 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. So we could say the cotangent of 180 or the cotangent of 360. Now this asks for the value where the trig function is 0. So there's lots of different ones on here. Some easy ones, we could use these 4 again. 1, 0, negative 1, 0. So here it's 0. So what are those? Well, this is a cosine because it's x. So the cosine of 90, cosine of 270. Or we could say the sine of 180 or the sine of 360.